Good day, I'm Cody-Ann Barrett and welcome to Frontline Business. The Standing Finance Committee two-day revenue of the $774 billion budget for 2018-2019 commenced in the House of Representatives on Wednesday. More in this report.
The 2 days of drilling down into the budget by the Committee of the Whole House got off to a late start, some 46 minutes, and immediately started out with apologies. First, for errors in the revenue estimates, which had implications for the smooth review.
I apologize for these errors. Let me indicate, because, in fact, a number of questions that the opposition spokesman on finance had asked us had, in fact, helped to. Yes, I am. Yes.
In his opening remarks, Finance Minister Audishaw highlighted the fact that for the first time in a long time, debt servicing was lower than 40% of gross domestic product GDP.
For the first time in a long time, is below 40% of the budget. 37.4%. And this is significant because we all remember the days in both governments when we had debt service in excess of 60%, as high as 65%. So this is a significant.
For his part, the newly appointed spokesman on finance, Mark Golding, pointed to the importance of continuity.
Arising from your remarks, I would say that what Jamaica is enjoying in this regard is the continuity of the prudent management of the economy, which began really under our administration in 2013 and which has been continued by you, and we appreciate that, sir. And we commend you for that continuity, because it is that continuity which is engendering such confidence as there is in the overall economic program of the country, and that is very important in terms of trying to achieve our overall national targets.
The opposition side expressed regret that government had not continued with the promise to keep the $700 million allotment for the re-verification of the voters list. The review continues on Thursday with the hope of an early start. Kimberly Wright, Frontline Business.
President of the Inter-American Development Bank, IDB, Luis Alberto Moreno, has praised Jamaica on the progress made in reforming its macroeconomic environment. He says the bank is of the view that Jamaica is on the road to recovery. Mr. Moreno was speaking on Tuesday at the opening plenary session for the 7th Annual Caribbean Governors Meeting of the IDB at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel in New Kingston. Mr. Moreno said when Jamaica entered into the Extended Fund Facility arrangement with the International Monetary Fund (IMF) in 2013, many of his colleagues and some persons at the fund did not believe the program would have been successful. The Extended Fund Facility was part of a funding package from multilateral agencies, including the World Bank and the IDB, to support economic reform. The Jamaica Stock Exchange, JSE, ended its 2017 financial year with a marginal dip in profit, despite an increase in revenue. It published its financial results for the year on Tuesday. Profit for the 12 months declined by 1.2% or $2.9 million to $220.6 million. The JSE's revenue increased to near $1 billion. During 2017, the stock exchange raked in $991 million, up from $865 million in 2016. The local manufacturing sector recorded growth during the October to December quarter. The Bank of Jamaica says this expansion reflected growth in food, beverages, and tobacco. Growth was mainly associated with increased production of beverages as well as food processing, excluding sugar. However, there was a decline in output levels for refined petroleum products. Meanwhile, the central bank says inflation for January is forecast to mainly reflect increases in food and non-alcoholic beverages, as well as housing, water, electricity, gas, and other fuels. It says, though decelerating, upward pressure from food and beverages is expected due to non-processed food prices stemming from the impact of the adverse rainfall that took place in October and November. An increase in housing expenses is expected due to higher costs for water supply and miscellaneous services. The Bank of Jamaica says inflation in February and March is anticipated to mainly reflect increases in the cost of utilities and petrol. In Wednesday's trading session, the JSE Combined Index advanced by 1,276 points to close at 300,996. Overall market activity resulted from trading in 54 stocks, of which 30 advanced, 16 declined, and 8 traded firm. The Junior Market Index advanced by 28.52 points to close at 2,924. Among the winners were Access Financial, Barita Investments, Berger Paints, Blue Power Group, and Caribbean Cement. Stocks declined for AMG Packaging and Paper, Cable and Wireless, Cargo Handlers, Caribbean Flavors and Fragrances, and Caribbean Producers. Stocks traded firm for 138 Student Living, Siboney Group, Derrimon Trading, Epley Limited, and Epley Limited 9.5%. Elite Diagnostic was the volume leader with over 31 million units, followed by Wasinko Group Limited with over 3 million units and Siboney Group with 658,995 units. On the foreign exchange market, the US dollar is being sold for an average $127.93. $102.20 is the going rate for the Canadian dollar, while it's costing $176.87 for the pound sterling and $156.85 for the euro. News in oil. Brent oil eased on Wednesday ahead of data that is expected to show a rise in U.S. crude output and after industrial activity softened in some of the world's major crude-consuming nations. Brent crude futures were down 8 cents at $66.55 a barrel. U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude futures were up 10 cents at $63.11. Prices came under pressure earlier after 3 of the world's top consumers of crude, China, India, and Japan, reported a slowdown in monthly factory activity. And that's it for Frontline Business. I'm Cody Ann Barrett. Regional stories are next after the break.